A very blessed day to all of you. For today's meditation, we are looking at Amos chapters 3 and 4. And it talks about God's condemnation of Israel. Why? Because the Israelites were found to be engaging in all kinds of evil practices. Sure, they were supposed to be God's covenanted people. Sure, they were supposed to be receiving God's utmost favor and blessing. And Amos 3 begins with God reminding them of that. Yet, something was going wrong here. They weren't worshipping God with their whole heart, even though they still profess to be following God, like performing all the required sacrifices and making the necessary offerings. God had charged that they were insincere in their worship. And it's like they were merely going through the motions. Their hearts were not wholly devoted to Him. In fact, they had turned to worshipping other idols as well. To God, they were playing the harlot spiritually. They were also morally corrupt. They had spurned social justice. And this wasn't the first time that God had warned them about their idolatrous ways. In fact, in the past, He had meted out certain punishments to them, hoping that they would realize their wrongdoings and to return back to Him. Yet, the Israelites failed to learn from their lessons. They did not return. So, our scripture today records God's judgment on them, that He was going to punish them big time. Now, what does all this say to us in our own lives? Is this: sometimes we forget that we are at God's mercy. God is not at ours. As His people, we cannot choose to be flippant in our relationship with Him, thinking we are the ones calling the shots in our lives. We do not. We do not dictate how God is supposed to relate to us in our relationship with Him. He determines that. He calls the shots. As God has made us into His favored and treasured possession, a people saved and called into His holy kingdom, there are expectations by God in how we are to live our lives in such a way that would reflect our total dedication and devotion to Him. We are not to serve both God and mammon. We are not to give our worship to other beings or other things apart from God. Our God is a jealous God, and He demands that we keep to Him and to Him only. Amos 3 and 4 remind us, therefore, that though we may be God's favored and chosen people, God will not hesitate to discipline and punish those He loves, even His children, if we stray from His righteous ways. So let us always strive to keep our utmost and genuine devotion to Him, to give all that is due to Him. May God be pleased with the life that we are seeking to live for His glory. God bless you.